Hello students, from this part we are starting with human nervous system. The nervous system in human is well developed and complex. It is broadly divided into two parts. First is the central nervous system, that is CNS, and second is the peripheral nervous system, that is PNS. The central nervous system consists of brain and spinal cord as its main organ, and this central nervous system is derived from embryonic ectoderm, whereas peripheral nervous system consists of nerves, or peripheral nervous system is made up of nerves. On the basis of the origin of nerves, it is divided into two types, that is cranial nerves and spinal nerves. Cranial nerves, the nerves which arise from the brain, are called as cranial nerves, whereas spinal nerves are the nerves which arise from the spinal cord. So on the basis of the origin of the nerves, the nerves are divided into two types. First is cranial nerves and second is spinal nerves. On the other hand, on the basis of their function, the nerves can be divided into three types. First is the afferent nerves, or they are also called as sensory nerves. These afferent nerves, they take the messages from the sense organ to the central nervous system, or they take the impulses from the sense organ to the central nervous system. Second type is efferent nerves, that is also called as motor nerves. These efferent nerves, they take the impulses from the central nervous system to the sense organs. And the third type is mixed nerves. Mixed nerve consists of both these nerves, and this peripheral nervous system is semi-independent in function. Semi-independent means it is half dependent on the central nervous system in its function. So peripheral nervous system is consists of nerves, or is made up of nerves, or comprises of nerves. On the basis of origin of the nerves, they are divided into two types. First is cranial nerves, second is spinal nerves. And on the basis of their function, the nerves are divided into three types. First is afferent nerves. They are also called as sensory nerves. They bring the impulses from the sense organ to the central nervous system. Second is efferent nerves. They are also called as motor nerves. These nerves, they bring the impulses from central nervous system to sense organs. And the third type is mixed nerves. And this peripheral nervous system is semi-independent in function, whereas central nervous system, the main organs are brain and spinal cord, and central nervous system is derived from embryonic ectoderm. Now, this peripheral nervous system is further divided into two types. First is somatic nervous system and second is autonomous nervous system or autonomic nervous system. Somatic nervous system is a somatic nervous system controls all the voluntary actions in our body, such as actions of skeletal muscles. The actions of our skeletal muscles, all those actions are controlled by the somatic nervous system. Those actions which are voluntary, which can be controlled, those are under the control of somatic nervous system. Whereas autonomous nervous system, it controls all the involuntary actions. The actions of the visceral organ or the visceral muscles or the organ muscles, those actions are controlled by autonomous nervous system. Further, autonomous nervous system is divided into two types: sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. So, sympathetic nervous system works under the stress conditions. Whenever there are stress conditions of the body, those actions are taken by sympathetic nervous system. Whereas parasympathetic nervous system works under normal conditions. Whenever the body is in normal condition, at that time the actions are controlled by the parasympathetic nervous system. Another thing that we are going to discuss is gray matter and white matter. before we start with central nervous system, we need to understand what is gray matter and what is white matter. So gray matter is basically the cell body of the neurons. The cell body, that is cyton of the neurons, and the non-myelinated part. Non-myelinated part of the neurons are the gray matter, whereas white matter, it includes the myelinated part, only the myelinated part. Myelinated part of the neurons, that is axon. Axons are covered with myelin sheath. So the axons are the white matter, whereas cyton or the cell body and the non-myelinated part of the nerve fibers are the gray matter. Now this wherever the cell body is found more, wherever the cyton and the non-myelinated fibers are found more, that part is called as the gray matter, and wherever the white part or the myelinated part is found more, that is called as the white matter. Now in brain, gray matter is on the outer side, whereas white matter is on the inner side. Whereas in spinal cord, the white matter is on the outer side and the gray matter is on the inner side. Now brain and spinal cord, they are covered with three layers of three protective layers. Those layers are called as meninges. We will understand all these things when we take up the central nervous system.